How's it going, everybody? I am the Texas Man. I hope you guys are all having a fabulous day. Please give this video a thumbs up if you guys really enjoy it. Subscribe if you guys have not already. Also, do me the biggest favor of all, hit that bell notification button so you guys don't miss out on future videos or streams here on the Texas Man channel. Also, please head over to Twitch and follow me at Douglas447. No caps, no spaces. On my Twitch account, I do some streams from time to time, so make sure you head over there, follow me so you guys don't miss out on those. When those end up going live. And of course, in this episode review, we're going to be talking about Clone Wars Season 7, Episode 11, Shattered. Oh my goodness, guys. This episode I really enjoy. Really enjoy. The first time I watched it, I cried, and I still cry a little bit. Every time I watched it, I've watched this episode 4 times. And yeah, this is Star Wars. This is Star Wars Clone Wars at its best. The Siege of Mandalore arc is amazing, and it's really good. This ties in perfectly more than the past 2 episodes with what happens in Revenge of the Sith. It was also really cool to see a device that can control Jedi and Sith and prevent Jedi and Sith, like Maul, from being able to use the Force while inside of this box. The first time I watched the episode, I honestly thought they put Maul in carbonite, and then you find out, no, it's just a Mandalorian disabling Force type of box, which was really cool to see. Ahsoka ends up realizing that the Jedi, including herself, ever since she was a Padawan, are soldiers. Ahsoka's never been a peacekeeper for the Republic. She's always been a soldier ever since she was a Padawan under Yoda, and then of course under Anakin. She's never been the person to just police the galaxy and make sure it's a safe place for everybody. She's always been at war, and it's really cool to see her starting to grow up a little more than she has already, and for her to realize these things is really cool, especially when we're getting so close to what's coming. I sense the plot to destroy the Jedi scene was really cool to see again. Of course, that's a famous line from Mace Windu in Revenge of the Sith. And so we end up getting to see... we see what happens before that scene in Revenge of the Sith. But in this episode, we actually get to see that again. And then we get to see what takes place after the cutout in Revenge of the Sith. Because in Revenge of the Sith, that conversation kind of gets cut. In this episode of Clone Wars, we find out that there's a lot more going on at this council meeting. Ahsoka ends up getting to see Yoda, Mace Windu, and a bunch of other Jedi for the last time, right before Order 66. And as you guys might have guessed it, this episode is called Shattered, so guess what? Order 66 happens. And we get to see the event through the lens and the point of view of Ahsoka, Maul, and Rex, which is something I've always really wanted to see, and we actually do get to see that. Both Ahsoka and Maul end up feeling through the Force how and why Anakin ends up becoming Darth Vader, and it's really sad. It also explains that Rex ended up trying to kill Ahsoka because of the Order 66 chips. So there's a lot of stuff in this episode that does a callback to Season 6 events. So if you guys didn't watch Season 6, there are going to be things in this episode that may not make sense. So to let you guys know, in case you guys didn't see Season 6 of Clone Wars, the clones, when they are issued Order 66 by Lord Sidious, there's a chip that forces them to have to do it. And some of the clones, if you've ever watched the Rebels show or anything else expanded wise for Star Wars, you can get the chip removed and it'll disable your command as a clone to hunt down and kill the clones, which is kind of cool. This episode also shows that Maul is extremely powerful and dangerous and extremely smart, even without lightsabers. So he ends up just destroying and decimating clones without them, which is kind of cool to see. At the same time, I kind of wanted him to see a lightsaber, because him just constantly using the Force and whatnot, I'm just like, okay, you're basically Hulk. It was cool, and then eventually kind of got silly. Both Maul and Ahsoka end up figuring out the actual true purpose of the clone army and the Order 66 chips. At the end of the episode, Rex ends up getting his chip removed, which goes hand in hand with his scar that he has in the Rebel show. Um, Also, R7 and a bunch of other droids that Ahsoka has met along the way throughout the Clone Wars show end up making a return, and they're there to help Ahsoka try to survive the events of Order 66 and, of course, the fallout. Also, it was really interesting to learn that even though Ahsoka isn't a Jedi, and this is something that a lot of people probably in the comments section, and that's okay if you guys want to disagree with me, um, everyone was like, why in the world would Ahsoka be targeted for termination by Order 66 if she's not a Jedi? Well, first of all, even though she's not a Jedi, the Emperor still wanted her dead for several reasons. First of all, she's Anakin's Padawan, so that would be a threat to the Empire, and it would be a threat to the Emperor. Also, although she's technically not a Jedi, she's been trained as one, and she would be a great threat in probably creating a rebellion against the Empire. So, even though she's not a Jedi, she still has the ability to use the Force. She still has access to lightsabers. She could build her own. She would be a great threat to the security of the Empire. For negatives, though, I want to talk about really quick for this episode. It's possible that this is the last time we'll ever see Bo-Katan in the Clone Wars. I mean, after this episode, we've only got one more to go. And this episode kind of doesn't explain as to how Bo-Katan ends up losing the black saber. It doesn't explain the fall of Mandalore. Like, we get to see the Siege of Mandalore, but then this episode kind of cuts Mandalore and what's happening on that planet kind of really short, and goes right into Order 66. So I don't know why, but this episode kind of felt like two episodes that got cut in half and then smashed into one kind of thing. I kind of wanted to see a little bit more of Mandalore. Just personal opinion. This episode also doesn't explain. I'm sorry. This episode also has to explain to us Star Wars people what Order 66 is. They did not need to explain what Order 66 is in this episode. You should know what Order 66 is before you end up starting to watch the Clone Wars show. Like, the only reason you should be watching the Clone Wars show is because you're interested in what happens between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. And in Revenge of the Sith, guess what? It tells you exactly what Order 66 is. Why they had to spend so much time in this episode explaining what it is and treating us like 2-year-olds and idiots to the Star Wars audience is just beyond me. Also, Ahsoka ends up getting her 2 blue lightsabers back that she ended up losing in the previous episode with her fight against Maul. I kind of wanted to see either her green and yellow come back from Season 5, or maybe her white kyber crystal ones to reappear that she ends up getting in Rebels. The fact that she just got 2 blue lightsabers again, I'm just like, really? Can you not think of anything else for colors? And also, because of Disney, the violence and the blood is really small in scale in this episode. Darth Maul kind of gets a Darth Vader Rogue One hallway scene. But it's because it's under Disney, it's chicken, and they're scared to show blood and violence in a animated show because Disney controls it. So, yeah, that was kind of disappointing. Still, I prefer the Darth... I know a lot of people are like, oh, Darth Maul's scene, in the hallway was so cool and badass. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, the Rogue One Darth Vader scene outplays Darth Maul because it wasn't afraid of showing people getting sliced and diced and thrown into the roof and stabbed and whatnot. It was more gruesome, in my opinion. So, with that, guys, I'm going to give Clone Wars Season 7, Episode 11, Shattered, a 9.5 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys all have a phenomenal day. And I'll see you guys in the last Clone Wars review video very soon. Bye, guys.